What's your thoughts on Santa Monica? I'm asking folks.
A lot of professional faggotry, a lot of hell from within, a lot to survive. Dealing with going from prison system to prison system to prison system around the United States. Educating myself as to how reduced human beings end up here, and how my inequity, how we shuffle around people like this to different places for revenue.
Are you journaling here, or are you a drawer?
Yeah, I do my global elite international Illuminati paperwork. Illuminati superseding down over Masons, Masons down into common population as commander-in-chief. Well, I got a presidential position with the tycoon world attached to me with ambassador. Like, I'm sure you heard of Pablo Escobar.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he was known as a big ambassador. Well, I'm the same character. I'm an ambassador and also friends of Pablo. I actually boated up here on this beach in a cigarette boat. On this very fine beach here, I came in from South America with Pablo. We are both prison wardens and escapees of South American penitentiary in those days. We escaped Colombian South American penitentiary in a high-speed Colombian motorboat. We made it right here to Santa Monica, beautiful USA Santa Monica, in a motorboat. Where both me and Pablo escaped the motorboat, made it up here ashore, and my name is the Ambassador Jacob John Buds, with prison warden Ambassador Pablo Escobar. We traveled intercontinentally from around Mexico. So we go from South America, south, big old south, from Colombia, big old cocaine. We go floating on this boat. Man, that was the fastest boat alive. Because we went right past Mexico like it was nothing to do. They were flying past Mexico, Southern California, nothing to do. Getting around here, getting around this big Ferris wheel here, we made it around there. And it's about nighttime now. And the wheel's all, lit up. And it's beautiful Santa Monica, as you can imagine, seeing that big wheel coming in on a motorboat, all right, blah, 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 moving as fast as can, blah, 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 parked right here. And that's how I ended up on our beaches in Santa Monica.
What do you think of the government, especially the California government? What do you think of them?
They're awfully genocidal, and we cannot figure out why. Well, if that college meat grinder turn of the wheel there, they're getting suited and tied and booted and suited. They're getting moved into more secrecy. Why in a big faggoted way things become the way they do? And they're throwing some fear into us that they're going to meat grind us up and vacuum us into the prison system if we don't behave and get into some suit or tie, military or law enforcement, hospital, prison administration.
What do you think about the Santa Monica police?
They're cross-confused. They're in a bindage, dealing with several big towers in a Jewish prominent town. And they're just a poor little inequity now, which means property of the big, tallest division leader to them for each division. And they're just sitting there like, we're only here to answer your orders, sir, okay? And we're in your town, there's so many more of you. We're just kind of like here, kind of like on guard. If you asinine really needed us, poor little old me policeman. I feel like all the way down here, I'm just a Boy Scout troop-led, everyday lethal man still with a gun here. I'm not just, I'm not some young man wearing a blue uniform anymore, showing up for Boy Scouts. Now I'm an older man, I've become a policeman, and I'm here with a gun. I feel still like I'm a young man being led around at Boy Scout troop value, even as chief. You could be the chief here and still feel like I'm just a little Boy Scout under the Chinaman.
So you think the police here are almost kind of like Boy Scouts?
They're they're lethal great big Boy Scouts with guns. Yes.
Because I heard they're not even like, people can shoplift up to $1,000 and they just won't even go after them. Is that true?
Oh, well, today is kind of like a computer game, like Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. Like, we know they dipped inside this store and they start to gobble it up over there. And everything is so electrified. We understand where you're coming, you're going, what you're doing. Okay, so they picked up some candy bars and they picked up a can of rice and beans. Big deal. They went down the road. They may not deal with you right away, but it kind of like it is on a receipt. We kind of understand what the hell you done, you dork. We understand you're frustrated, but frustration takes for all of us, especially for ourselves, even with our own uniform. Even for those of us, if you understand we're vanquished. A younger word, it might be something different. You're a shoplifter, you're a thief, you robbed the store. Okay, I might be able to turn you around, put you away because your wrongdoing at some Catholic boy or Christian boy or Mason boy kind of value living within these communities outside of Jewish would be to understand that I have reached for items that cost me this X amount of dollars on the store by itself. And it's really frozen up my heart that I feel like I committed some great sin. I'm wrong, huh? And then they could touch base with you, help you understand you've done wrong, maybe put you in jail for 30 days and release you and put your parents up here from you, helping you understand that you stole and you were a little thief. You took this canned good and you went home. But that's because they're honest and good enough with us to explain that yes, I'm wrong, I am a thief, I took it off the shelf. They're not educated yet to be within the suit and tie, to be an officer, to have any greater privileges of, well, a replenishment. I'm replenishing myself, and at a billionairing value, well, it's just a come and go, and I got the item at an officer's bargain, which would be a vanquish, which is like a taking. A taking's a little bit different, a softer, educated man's value. Of course, you're blue and fine as blue. Of course, my store will distinguish to you a fine gentleman in a suit and tie that has suffered. That's all right. You kleptoed from me a little bit. It's understandable. Other people, we hope that you might throw some cuffs on them, roust them, take the product right back. But explain to me that our prices are inflating, going up once again for the other shoppers because some unviable behavior was there that was revenuable. It keeps the court system going with paperwork. Well, we got this little character here, and we got him with his canned goods, and we put him in front of the judge with some paperwork. We scared the shit out of him into better behaviors and keep him in a drunk tank and release him to his parents. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, because I saw a bunch of business. The Rite Aids are starting to shut down and stuff like that. It's in the promenade. Half the promenade is kind of like just vacant businesses. It's interesting.
Too much of the youthful lifters, people, pocketbook. That happens sometimes. That was happening. Same thing in our state of Illinois, where we went through a period of time. We had to stop like almost every shopping center, every big mall, because what is happening within the minds of our kids? They're just walking out here for everything for free. In some strange way, devil horns up. This is funny, okay. So they're just gonna up and leave and disappear out the store without paying for anything. They got balls. So we love our kids. We let them run through our fingers. We even let them make it back home. We even let them have their telltale story that they felt like somebody, maybe it's a sense of excitement we're feeling. As billionaires of our community, we kind of like follow behind them sometimes, and even maybe even pay for their item. But we don't want to see you in jail. Just like in San Francisco, I got some billionaire friends, same thing. They watch over a Safeway. They know their little area code. They know their people. And there's a few alcoholics that are really beloved people they share their drinks with. They know them their asinine whole life. But they also happen to be the main security of the whole store and billionaire with suit tie. There goes my bosom buddy friend again. Watch this bum. He'll take a whole bottle of booze and stick it here in his coat and try to walk on. That's my friend. You know, sure, we could have him arrested at the front door. We could have him turned around. What, something my friend asininely does not know is that he's got another friend looking out over your shoulder. I decided to go to our biggest grocer, the biggest owner of Safeway, and I paid your bill for you. And then you sat there drinking that same bottle with me, my friend. Yeah, I don't think you're so bad. You're not so bad at all. My friend's name happened to be Roy. And Roy was funny. He's Polish. He just mixed up with a bottle of vodka. I didn't think their scheme was too bad. It's Polish vodka. He lived up with the Polish name brand. There's some other wealthy character that cared about him, that knew him throughout his whole life, that put a couple bucks on, put bucks. Some people don't have it pleasant like that. Sometimes they end up revenue. Sometimes you're not the cared for person. Sometimes you're not in town. Sometimes that's how we grew up with asinine our whole life in a small town. You know, where shit gets deep between people. And let's say it's a different run-of-the-mill individual. They're going in and out of our business. For some reason, hey, they sure caught him right away. Man, they twisted him up right away. Nothing to do. Because who are you? Who are you in my town? They'll come out and say, thank you, you become revenue. Because you're someone unpreferential. Astronaut unpreferential. Even amongst our own impreferentials. Sometimes we're pushing back at our own even these days. Like, we can't have our own city making this much of ass today. You can't keep covering your ass today. So you have to find a job, Roy. You pay for your booze. Well, all right, I'll take your word for it. So we'll go do sheetrock and drywall. Might not want to ever fit in with suit, tie, politics, and learn the deepest way to stay out of trouble. Suit, tie, politics. You're outside the tie, you're outside the suit, you can become revenue. They have lesser beautiful language to use. That means they're dumber, they're ignorant, there's never a gun to their head. And those rot in jail, they get raped. So they didn't wish to put out a suit or tie at some better time, and then they learn, you know, what it's like. The hardest way is a different quality of a convict, when they could have simply become a convicted man within a suit and tie to become convicted to the rules of the earth that keep us a little bit safer than an ordinary everyday person. A lot of the ordinary people might not have went yet for the suit or the tie in life, just decide to go without because they hear it's sacrificial. They'll end up in jail all day, all night long. They become revenue.
Well, thanks for hanging out with me.
Hey, all right, pal. Your name is?
Good talking to you. 6'7" Kevin.
All right.